Swami Vivekananda into practicality. Ever since we have joined, when we started this Sevashrama, people used to think that what we can do through this Sevashrama. But when they realize that slowly and steadily we have taken up the leprosy project, tuberculosis project, and all health related projects in the most remote area of Karnataka, then they realized this is an institution which is going to bring all the teachings of Swami Vivekananda into practicality. Yeah, we will start our program with our Sanatana Dharma, which always proclaimed that the strength is not outside, it is within us. Strength is not outside, it is within us. Keeping this in the background, we can see how the whole world is suffering, the whole nation is suffering, and a few months back, how it was everywhere, so much joy, happiness, and people were moving, and people are so happy, everything was very clear. Unfortunately, even in this nuclear age, the people have failed to find out the cause, the root cause of this misery. Even though they say the corona virus is creating this major problem in this world. But as a philosopher, as a follower of Sanatana Dharma, we see these type of situations will make us to think, what next? What's happening? What is the place of wealth? What is the place of strength? What is the place of military power? Nothing has come to rescue us. The only thing which has rescued us is our own inner strength. Though people might have not expressed, but it is a statement of fact that in India especially, everybody has that strength, that capacity to face this type of unexpected problems. In Kathopanishad, there is one sentence. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu ghudatma na prakashatetu agraya buddhya sukshmaya sukshmadarshivihi. Means everything. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu ghudatma, that power, that soul, that spirit is there. But only a few people like Vivekananda, like Shankaracharya, like Madhvacharya, like Ramanujacharya, like Ramana Maharishi, great saints tried to understand and tried to get inside and find out that strength. Today's subject is these types of thoughts which has to be learned to incorporate in our day-to-day life so that we will not bow down owing to these types of unexpected situations in life. Let me start with Swami Vivekananda's wonderful words, which gives you an idea that we are the most powerful beings on this planet, provided we understand our own inner strength. Many of them, or many of the people, don't understand that capacity, that ability, that strength is there within themselves. But unfortunately, they will go outside in search of that strength. In the same Kathopanishad, there is one more stotra, one more sloka. Paranchikhani vetran swayambhu tasmat paran na pashyati antaratma kaschid dhira pratyagatmanam aikshat avrutta chakshum amrutattvamichan. That is, the God, the Creator, has created these senses, keeping it outside. But one great persons, like Vivekananda, like Shankaracharya, they started getting inside to know the real strength. That's how they became great. That's how they are able to understand the world. They are able to understand the secret of the life, and the rest is history, you know. So the same way, unless until we understand this particular hidden strength, it will be very difficult for all of us to move further. I think in his introductory talk, Mr. Shivkumar said, we are really facing a difficult situation. In India especially, where we have so much population, and you can see thousands are just walking on the street to reach their destination. And other day, there was a news where people, they thought that trains have been stopped and they were walking on the railway track. And at early morning, they couldn't walk further. They slept on the railway track alone. And suddenly there is a goods train where it was moved down. All these people are dead. So this is the situation. And we see very often in the newspapers, in other social media, people are losing the confidence. Though they are getting they might have got lot of degrees from universities, or they may be in the biggest positions like teachers, lawyers, doctors, engineers, etc. But they are losing the ground. Somewhere they see, yes, we are losing the ground. They may feel, and sometimes I see some people are feeling it, and the committing suicide has become very common during these type of situations. That's why we have selected this subject, thoughts of power. So we get the power with those type of thoughts where it makes us to stand straight and face the situation. Having said this, we would like to emphasize that the faith which we have on God and Goddess has to be continued along with it. If we can understand our hidden strength, then it will be easy for all of us to move forward without any anxiety, fear, and above all, negative attitudes. With negative attitudes. Nowadays, I say we even younger generation and the people in common, they're losing the faith on the God and Goddess or Almighty or Supreme Power. They say, what happened? The temples have been closed. The whole thing is totally closed. What happened? What will be our future? I can see the youngsters coming and asking me, Swami, what happened? I said, this is a common. Don't worry. This is going to happen. Agama paino nitya tantitiksha bharata. That's the word from Bhagavad Gita. All these things come. World War First, World War Second. Then it came AIDS. Then there are so many problems came, and we were not able to understand how these problems came. And one day we found all the problems were conquered, or we were able to understand the problem and get the solution to face the problems. And I am sure that a day may come shortly where we will be able to discover the medicines as vaccines to face this corona virus. Human life is a union of soul and nature, or spirit and matter. Do you know how much energy, how many powers, how many forces are still lurking behind that frame of yours? You don't know. You think you're just a body. But if you go in depth, or if you understand the Sanatana Dharma, or if you understand the Hindu Dharma, or if you understand the philosophy, then you find out the body is just a gross things. There are so many hidden things within us which we don't know. Swami Vivekananda says in his Raja Yoga, each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by karma, yoga, bhakti, jnana. Then he adds one more word. He says one more sentence. He says, books, temples, churches are nothing but secondary. So he emphasizes that each soul is potentially divine. So here also the same thought you can hear. How do you know what possibilities lie behind that degradation on the surface? You know but a little of that which is within you. For behind you is the ocean of infinite power of blessedness. Let me quote the great Western philosopher Emerson. One day he was sitting on the banks of the river and he was just enjoying the sunset, beautiful sunset with a wonderful color, the golden color. What a wonderful place. And his friend came and he started appreciating. See, Emerson, what a wonderful picture. See, sun is just going down and the water is there. Everything appears to be gold. What a wonderful place. Then Emerson says, slowly and steadily, he says, my dear friend, what lies behind you, what lies in front of you is nothing in comparison with what is within you. So he emphasizes what is within you. And today's lecture or today's subject is to know what is within us. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. That's what Upanishad says. That's what Bhagavad Gita says. That you have the capacity, you have the ability to face any problems, but hold on. Don't have the negative attitudes. Fill yourself with the idea. Whatever you do, think well on it. Think well on it. All your actions will be magnified, transformed, defined by the very power of the thought. By the very power of the thought. If matter is powerful, thought is also omnipotent. Bring this thought to bear upon your life. Fill yourself with the thought of your almightiness, your majesty, and your goal, and your glory. To continue this, again, I quote Swami Vivekananda. Everything has improved in our nuclear age, except our values of life. The first quotation, what I said, unquoted, that is from Swami Vivekananda. Now, what I am telling is, what I am quoting is from Dr. S. Radhakrishna, the book from his famous book, Recovery of Faith. You can see, everything has improved in our nuclear age, except our values of life. Most of us associate value with pay, promotion, and pleasure. We don't feel we have to account for any lack of integrity in these pursuits. The tense, insecure, and fearful mode that prevails in a world of increased violence and terrorism separates us from our spiritual foundation of life. A pall of existential gloom envelops us, making us physically and psychically weak. What a perfect summary of the present age. Man suffers intellectually from a sense of insecurity, ethically from sense of anxiety. In moments of self-analysis, he examines his past and feels distressed in spirit, unsure of himself, pulled this way and that. He becomes embittered, sick unto death. He is haunted with a sense of mystery, as the feeling of being weak, incompetent, frail, ignorant, evil, unholy. This unhappy being, whose heart is torn by secret sufferings, is terribly alone, struggling not with the external forces, but within himself. This divided, raven being, tormented by fear and all acts with himself, he is weighed down by despair. This is Dr. Radhakrishna's word, and I have quoted this word because the present situation is really makes us to think, yes, it is true. Fill yourself with the ideal. Whatever you do, think well on it, and all your actions will be magnified, transformed, defined by the very power of the thought. This is Swami Vivekananda. So this is the time we have to think on these lines, these thoughts of power, so that our ideology, our thinking capacity, everything will get positiveness. Human life is a union of spirit and matter, a unity of many dimensions, freedom and bondage, purity and impurity, wisdom and ignorance, strength and weakness. This vast, varied universe is the projection of God.
the only reality behind the universe, the divine essence animates the body, mind, etc. Sri Shankara, him to Dakshinamurti, brings out the idea that the self functions through the mind, sense organs, and body. Just as the rays of the light hidden in a pot with a number of holes emanate through the holes, the self manifests itself through the eyes and sense organs, giving rise to notion, I know. Every object shines. After the self manifests it, I bow down to that teacher who is known as Dakshinamurti, who is none other than the Supreme Self. This is the Shankaracharya's famous Dakshinamurti Stotra. Swami Vivekananda says, doing is very good, but that comes from thinking. Fill the brain, therefore, with high thoughts. Fill the brain, therefore, with high thoughts, highest ideals. Place them day and night before you, and out of that will come great work. Example is none other than Swami Vivekananda. What a wonderful life he led. He came to West, and at one time, when he was walking with his friends in London, a huge street, they were all walking easily. Suddenly, Swami Vivekananda saw a bull was rushing towards him, a huge bull. Naturally, all his devotees ran away from the spot, and Swami Vivekananda just standing. The bull was rushing towards him, then charging towards him. And finally, when Swami Vivekananda saw nobody else there with him, he just stood like a Gibraltar rock. Then that bull came nearer to Swami and created dust, full of dust, and it vanished. Then, after some time, the devotees of Swami Vivekananda came to Swami Vivekananda and found Swamiji was perfectly all right. Then one of the devotees asked, Swami, what were you thinking when that great bull, the huge bull, was charging towards you? The answer is, Swami Vivekananda said, I was calculating what will be the weight of the bull and what is the weight of myself, and if it charges, how far I can go and fall. This was in his mind. Can you think about this? That is called heroism. The Upanishad says, the Vedanta says, the Bhagavad Gita says, Udhared Atmanam, Atmanam Avasaded, Atmayo Atmano Bandhu, Atmayo Ripuratmana. This is the time we should get up. We should rise. We should come up with new thoughts, with the powerful thoughts, which gives us the power to continue our journey towards the goal supreme. There is such a thing called Abhyasa. Yoga through practice. Abhyasena tu kaunteya, vairagyena tu dushkute. Practice, practice, practice. This is Swamiji's word. Keep up practice and you will find that your mind will follow in whatever direction you let it. The mind is like a white cloth, just returned from the laundry. It will red if you dip it in red dye, and blue if you dip it in blue. It will have whatever color you it in. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Evil thoughts are in the same way. Evil thoughts find the best field in evil people only. They are like microbes which germinates and increases only when they find a suitable soil. We see the world subjectively through the prism of our mind. This very world is seen by five senses as matter, by the very wicked as hell, by the good as heaven, and by the perfect people as perfect as God. This is Swami Vivekananda's thought. Thoughts shape the mind. Mind reflects its thoughts on others. Living harmoniously and peacefully in the world improves the quality of the mind. This is Swami Vivekananda said about the mind. These type of thoughts will make us to stand up, to understand the reality and face the problems. We are what our thoughts have made us. So take care of what you think. Words are secondary. Thoughts live. They travel far. Each thought we think is tinged with our own character, so that For the pure and holy man, even his jest or abuse will have the twist of his own love and purity and do good. Swami Vivekananda. Infinite thought, power pervades everything. We as the heirs of to all the good thoughts of the universe, if we open ourselves to them, Swamiji says, if we can tune our mind to the highest ideals, if we can tune our mind into highest ideals, we will receive the power of all the positive. This is Swami Vivekananda's personal experience. Elevating thoughts from the antiquity to this moment, we inherit the positive thoughts of the ages and pass them on the future generations. Bhadram karnebhi shrunuyama devaha, bhadram pashyemaksha biryajatraha. This is the Upanishadic words. When you see good only. When you hear good only. Everything makes an impression on your mind. To achieve something great in our life, we must have the great willpower, and at the same time have the faith in oneself. Then only great things can be achieved. Willpower. By my will, this mountain crumbles into pieces. By my will, I will empty this ocean. This must be our attitude, our approach towards the life at the present. Everywhere corona. People have become desperate. People doesn't know what to do. People have forgotten, they have lost their thinking capacity even. I can see people, I can see the officers, I can see the doctors, I can see the lawyers. They all forgotten their subjects. And I can see a veil of fear is haunting them. Take up one idea. Make that idea your life. Think of it. Dream of it. Live on that idea alone. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea. And just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success. And this is the way great spiritual gains are produced. Swami Vivekananda. So, whenever you take an idea, think on that idea, dream on that idea, work on that idea, live on that idea alone. This is the way to success. You can see Bhagavan Shankaracharya, Bhagavad-pada, Shankara Bhagavad-pada Acharya, Anna Basavanna. You can see how they took up the idea, how they took up the life, and how they followed. No compromise in principles. They walked like a rhinoceros, like Buddha. You know, Buddha says, walk like a rhinoceros in the forest. No compromise. Just walk. That's the life. Faith in ourselves. Faith in God. This is the secret of greatness. If you have faith in all 330 millions of your mythological gods, and in all gods which the foreigners have now and again introduced into your midst, and still have no faith in yourselves, there is no salvation for you. Have faith in yourselves and stand up on that faith and be strong. That is what we need. It's our need. That mind should be there. That capacity to understand the situation and walk. Don't worry about this. Come on. You can see in India, everybody is inside their house, wailing, weeping, because they have not practiced to be alone. They have not practiced. They don't know how to spend time. I see people are weeping when somebody gives a phone call. Swamiji, see my life, I can't come out of. I said, it's a wonderful time. You can study. You can pray. You can meditate. You can concentrate. You can achieve so many things. There's an opportunity. Look at the family. If a family person, if the family member, if the family leader, if he starts sinking, the whole family will sink. He must stand up. Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. That's the word of Swami Vivekananda. Uthishtatha, Jagratha, Prapya, Varaan, Nibodhatha. That's the word. Now all these words, all these statements, all these lines should not be kept inside the books and in the racks. You should bring it out. Bring it out. Read the books. Study the Vedas. Study the Upanishads. Study Sanatana Dharma. And you will find the strength. Great strength will come. If a man day and night thinks he is miserable, low and nothing he becomes. If you say, yeah, I am, so shall you be. And if you say, I am not, think that you are not. And day and night meditate upon the fact that you are nothing. Hey, nothing shall you be. That is the great fact you ought to remember. We are the children of the Almighty. We are the sparks of the infinite, divine fire. How can you be nothing? We are everything, ready to do everything. We can do everything, and man must do everything. This is the words of Swamiji. The greatness of the being human. This human body is the greatest body in the universe. And a human being, the greatest being. Man is higher than all animals, than all angels. None is greater than man. Even the gods will have to come down again and attain to perfection. Not even devas. Liberation means entire freedom. Freedom from the bondage of good as well as from the bondage of evil. A golden chain is as much a chain as iron one. He who thinks himself free, free he becomes. He who thinks bound, bound he becomes. This popular saying, as one thinks, so one becomes, is true. Yad dhyayati tad bhavati. That is the Sanskrit word. It's true. He alone who is always awake to the idea of freedom becomes free. He who thinks he is bound endures life after life in the stage of bondage. If you have faith in all the 330 millions of your mythological gods and still have no faith in yourself, there is no salvation for you. Have faith in yourself and stand up on the faith and be strong. That is what we need. Have faith in yourself. You people were once the Vedic rishis. When somebody asks in India, even anywhere in the world, especially the Hindu, what is your gotra? What is your legacy? What is your clan? Then you say Rishi Muni's words. So Swami Vivekananda makes us to remember you are not just XYZs. You are the spark of that divinity. You are the spark of that great power. Now this is the time we have to think like that. Dear friends, people are so much afraid of this corona. And they give us telephone calls every time. Swamiji, we see you in the midst of people, in the midst of the villagers, in somewhere, into some nook and corner you are moving every day. Swamiji, be careful, take care. I said, don't worry, I'm the soldier of Swami Vivekananda. I do take care, but I'm not afraid of anything. That is the power what Swami Vivekananda's words has brought to us. All the sadhus of Ramakrishna Math and Mission. You can see Vrindavan. You can see in Calcutta. You know, in 1898, when the Calcutta was facing the worst plague problem, the worst plague epidemic, it was Swami Vivekananda and Sister Nibodhatha who worked with other monks who cleaned the streets of Calcutta and without any protections as we have now. What made them to work? What made them to understand the real meaning of life is nothing. Service, service, service. Service of God in man. Dear friends, it's a great opportunity for me to share my views with regarding Swami Vivekananda's clarion call about the sleeping soul, which has to be roused. This is our aim. This is our goal. Upanishad says, Abhi, Abhi, Abhi. No Upanishad says sleep, sleep, sleep. Upanishad says, get up, arise, get up, Abhi, Abhi, Abhi. This is the time we have to use those Upanishad's thoughts, Upanishadic thoughts, the words of Upanishads, the statements of Upanishad. Look at Nachiketa. He was able to face the god of death. He was able to talk with God of death. And he was able to refuse when the god of death, Yama, offered him so many things, worldly things. He said, Tavayovaha tavanrityagide. You keep your dance. You keep your all the materials regarding enjoyment. If you want to give me the secret of life. If you want to give me the answer, you give me that answer, the secret of life. Don't give me anything other than that grit he had, that guts he had, that capacity he had, that wonderful inner strength he had. Look at Dhruva. Look at Markandeya. Look at Swami Vivekananda. Look at Buddha. Look at Jesus. Look at Akka Mahadevi. She walked towards Mallikarjuna in the forest. And she was able to face so many great pandits, great philosophers. And nobody could say anything to her because she was above all. She has understood the life. Look at Mirabai. Look at Kabir. Look at Tulsidas. All these people had the inner strength. They never dependent on other outer strength. They dependent only on their inner strength. That is the secret of their life. Let me quote Swami Vivekananda's exact words. This is today's lesson and today's golden words for you all. Beautiful. Please hear. I quote, teach yourself. Teach everyone his real nature. Call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakes. Power will come. Glory will come. Goodness will come. Purity will come. And everything that is excellent will come when the sleeping soul is rose to self-conscious activity. What a word. Whenever I feel I'm haggard, I don't have lost my strength, I will just read these words. I have put in these words in front of my office room. Once again I repeat, teach yourself. Teach everyone his real nature. Call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakes. Power will come. Glory will come. Goodness will come. Purity will come. And everything that is excellent will come when the sleeping soul is rose to self-conscious activity. Dear friends, this is the thoughts of power which I wanted to share with you all. To end this talk, I am going to chant the famous words of Swami Vivekananda. That's our Vedanta. From Veda it has been produced. I will sing. I know you will enjoy. Srimantu Vishwe Amrutasya Putra Srimantu Vishwe Amrutasya Putra Aye Bhamani Divyavitas Vedanetam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasa Parasta Tumeva viditva ati mrityu me nanya puntha vidyate yanaya Uthishtatha Jagratha Prapya Varaan
Nibodhatha, Uthishtatha, Jagratha, Prapya, Varaan, Nibodhatha. Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. Namashri Yatirajaya, Vivekananda Suraye, Satchit Sukha Swarupaya, Swamine Tapaharine. Thank you very much.
Namaste Swamiji. Thank you.
Namaste.
And it was a very, very powerful speech. Especially the words of the Swami Vivekananda that you have repeated quite a number of times. Awake yourself, awake your soul. I think that is a very relevant at this point of time. So we as a common man, we are all confused. I mean, don't know, a lot of anxiety. I would say some of it is also a depression with a lot of people. So people are very confused at this point of time. So, and I think your words were very, very relevant, and we are truly blessed by those powerful words. So, I would like now to open up opportunity for others on the call. So, those who are on Facebook, you may not be able to ask directly to Swamiji, but if you could post in the comment section, one of us we will ask the question to Swamiji. And but those who are on the Zoom, please raise your hands. We'll unmute you if you directly want to ask the question to Swamiji, or you can also post your questions on the chat. So I will open it up now if anyone has any questions. So before we start getting the questions, Swamiji, one question as a commoner. So one of the thing that comes to everyone's mind is, yes, I mean, in this difficult time, people are trying to help everyone else in several ways. So what do you think, what should we be doing to help ourselves first? I mean, I think, we have to help ourselves first and then helping others. So what are the ways we need to look for?
It's a very good question. When you travel in the flight, when there is a problem of the air hostess will give an instruction that first wear yourself the oxygen mask, then help others. So your situation or the general situation has become like that. So unless you get the strength, you get the inner strength, you understand the situation, you know the ground reality, then you can rise yourself, then immediately try to help others. Usually people, of course, the corona situation has brought the world as one. I have seen that. Even the nation as one, even the people as one. Caste, creed, cult, everything has disappeared. Now people, they want to survive. So this is the situation where the inner strength, you call it as a spirituality, you call it as a almighty power, or you call it as supreme power. We don't worry about what you call or what you name it. But what we want is you rise to this occasion and see that you can manage this situation. And also I add, help others, love others, make others comfortable. That's very important. Even every day when we go to the remote villages where the laborers from other states have come and they're stuck in this situation, we first word we say is, we are with you, dear. We don't suddenly give them all the materials. Openly we have a megaphone. In the phone we'll talk. हम हैं आपके साथ. अब बोलिए, आपको जो कुछ मुश्किल है बोलिए, सीधा साधा बोलिए, हम हैं आपके साथ, आश्रम है आपके साथ. These words I can see a sort of a flash in their eyes, So I think Shiv Kumar, you can start with these things. Sanjay, you can start with these things. And if you have any other question, let me try to answer.
Hello,
Yeah,
Swamiji. I have
yes, tell me.
three questions.
Yeah.
Uh, when I do when I pray to the God, when I'm
Mm,
praying to the God, that time I get a lot of
mm,
different thoughts.
mm,
That is the number one. The number two is
mm,
whenever any person, for example, if he gets admitted to a hospital,
mm,
during that time, like we feel like a little depressed. Oh, what's going to happen?
mm,
How to overcome that one? That's thoughts and all. How to stay
mm,
strong in that situation.
mm, mm.
And the third question is the relationship, in the workplace or in the
Yeah,
in the friends, among the friends and all.
yeah.
How to maintain that one, and not to be a judgmental. How to avoid being judgmental about a person or about a thing.
No, you see, for your first question, uh, I'm very happy that still you continue the habit of praying God, worshipping God, etc. So when you pray, today in one of other lecture in local satsang, I was telling them, usually people doesn't know how to pray because their prayer is full of selfish motives. We want this, we want that, we want that. A special prayer in our Sanatana Dharma, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Sarvas Taratu Durgani, Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu, Sarvas Sat Buddhi Mapnotu, Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu. This must be our approach. This must be our prayer to the Almighty. Because we are also included in that prayer. Sarve Jana. So we are also part of that Sarve Jana. To your second question, yeah, whenever somebody gets admitted into hospital, they will have more anxiety. But I have seen, as an outsider, as a witness, we should always give them a positive ideologies, a positive thoughts. For example, I have seen in many hospitals, the visitors creates more problem than the patient himself. When visitors comes, they think if they don't weep, if they don't shout, if they don't say anything, I think their relationship is not so good. No, it's not so. Always tell them you are perfectly okay. You will be perfectly okay. We are all with you. You are not alone. Make sure that this type of thoughts, this type of ideas should be entered into their mind. Then automatically they will become perfect human beings. Usually I have seen this is what happens. They take flowers, they take fruits, which they are not at all required. You see, when they are in the house, nobody will care them. Nobody will bring a piece of bread. When he is admitted to hospital, they want to create a sort of a situation, a diseased situation, where sickly situation. No, you make it's a part of life. Agama painonite tantitiksha bharata. Don't worry, you'll be okay. So, yes, some fever has come or some problem has come. You'll be perfectly okay. This for your second question. The third one is very important. Love everyone. Start loving everyone and make them as your own. It's very difficult, but it is not impossible. You start making everybody as your own. When you talk, there should not be any hierarchy. There should not be any ups and downs. Just have a casual talk. You see, the whole system will be changed. Just say hello. That's what my answer. Thank you, Sanjay Tellur, President.
So,
Thank you very much.
so Swamiji, you have a few more minutes for a couple of more questions.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, by the way, the questions that was just given to you was from Samir. He was joining us all the way from Boston. So I just
Wow,
wanted, yeah. So I just want to tell, it's not only people from Greenville that have joined in. So we have
so
people
nice,
from different places too. So the
so
next question
nice.
is coming from Gayatri from Greenville on Facebook.
Mm,
So she has a
mm,
couple of questions. How to
mm,
keep our mental state stable during difficult times? How to keep
mm,
atomic energy high and
mm,
keeping high during our tough situations? And she
mm.
also has a second part to it: how to achieve the uninterrupted concentration during the meditation.
Well, the first point will be, you see, as I repeatedly quoted the Swamiji's words, faith in ourselves. So we should have that stuff, that sort of faith. As I said, by my will, I will empty this ocean. By my will, I will crumble this mountain into pieces. That type of willpower we should develop. See, devotion is very good. I am also a great devotee. When I sing, when I do puja, etc., I'll be one with God. But it doesn't mean that you're meek, weak, etc. So that same power which is there in front of us is within us also. As Emerson said, is nothing in compare with what is within you. So we should have the faith on our own selves. That makes everything clear. When you stand up, when you walk, I can tell people when they come to my office or when I see when they're walking, I say, this man is very dull. He doesn't believe in himself and he doesn't believe in any others also. So these type of characters creates problem in this society. They should understand all human beings are the same. We should love everybody. See, I would like to say a small example in this. See, one gentleman was there and he had a beautiful dog, which very hefty, and you can Labrador, you can take it. But what has happened? He never ever allowed the dog into his drawing room. Understand? So the dog also is to think why my owner, my caretaker doesn't allow me to enter into the drawing room. Okay. And one day, suddenly a message came and this gentleman left the house and started walking to his the destination. On the way, with his friend, he was telling, "Oh, I forgot to lock my drawing room." The friend said, "Why you are so worried about drawing room?" "No, no, you don't understand. Now I have my own problems. I have my dog. Achha, what is the relationship between the dog and drawing room, etc.? No, no, you don't understand. I will go back." So he came very quickly. He rushed to the house and he saw the dog was dead in the drawing room. What happened? Nothing. In the drawing room, they're full of mirrors. So when the dog entered that mirror, it thought so many dogs have come. And it started quarreling. And it jumped, quarreled, scratched, etc., etc. Finally, it fell dead. So this man says, if my dog would have been known how to say hello, then these things would have been not happened. The same way, when we walk on the street, when we see the people, it's nothing but our own mirror. And you say good morning, how are you, how do you do? That's all, that's all. You don't lose anything, but you gain. Not only for himself, for your own self. The person also will be happy and you also will be happy because you are making the world as your own. Bandhava Shiva Bhaktascha Swadesho Bhunatrayam. This is it. And the third part is concentration. Yeah, concentration. It's very difficult. But don't think that we don't have concentration. We have perfect concentration. We have perfect we can recognize any voice at any moment. Even if there is a shopping mall when hundreds of people are walking, if our own friend, very close friend, if he just calls, "Oh, I'm here. Oh dear, I'm here," you can hear his words or her words because you love her. You had made that person as your own. So when you are able to see so much crowd, but still you are able to select that voice, that makes the the problem more clear, that you start loving everybody, you start loving the world, you start loving the own people. I think that's the answer. And the concentration is, we have that concentration. So Ramanujacharya says in Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, Taila Dharavat. It's like pouring the oil from one pot to another pot without any breakage. So that is how our mind should start, and it can happen, it will happen, provided you practice every day, every moment. Then only it is possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. So now next we have Janak Desai and Pragnya. They all have a question. Janakji, yeah, you can go next.
Yes, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Namaste ji. We are
Namaste.
enjoying your spiritual. Yeah, namaste. You said we have to increase your inner strength. How can we increase? Like we should meditation. What should we do so we can increase our inner strength, or we can rise?
Amma, it is very, very simple. Answer is, have the faith, have the confidence, and above all, you have the faith in yourselves and have the faith on the God which you worship. The relationship between yourself and the God should be so close, like Meera and Giridhari. So there no problem will come once you start loving God. That is called divine love. So I think people like you, when you start sitting and praying, I will tell you a secret. You start repeating the name of God, whichever you like, and without stoppage, you start repeating the God. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. When you repeat the God's name constantly, without any break, it's like touching the chain, and slowly and steadily you reach the end of the chain. That is God. This example is given by none other than Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa for the Grihasthas. So you start the prayer. You don't worry about, in the beginning it is difficult. When you start praying, so many thoughts will come. Those thoughts will not come when you are working, but when you sit calm and quiet, all the thoughts will come. But you have to be very strict. Don't allow any thought. Just start praying. The Rama, or Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana, whichever God you like, whichever goddess you like. I think that's the only simple way to reach the goal supreme.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amma.
Thank you, Swamiji. So we have a question from Shiv Kumar. So you know him very well. So he wants to go next.
Oh. Tell me, Shiv Kumar ji.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste, Shiv Kumar ji. How are you? How is your family? Everybody is okay? How is the kids?
Yeah,
Tell me now.
doing good, Maharaj. Thank you for your wonderful thoughts and insights and all that.
Yeah.
Maharaj, I know that I'm also from the same location where you're serving. And I just want to say this, that you're serving at 44 degrees Celsius. The temperature in that is 44 degrees.
Yes.
And I'm also seeing that, Swamiji, I know you from last 20 years, basically, because I know I've been to your hospital also almost 20 years back when I was 13 years.
Yes. I remember.
Maharaj, what I seeing the situation, Maharaj, so many people now, they're in fear mode about they're losing jobs, they're losing their income, survival part. And we all come together now as a nation, as a community to help each other. But there are specific issues where people are about to lose their survival ground, Maharaj. They're about to lose their job,
Yes.
Some of the people are not even getting their food, and you are serving, you are
Yes.
feeding
Yes.
them.
Yes.
What is your message, Maharaj, in this during this Corona times? This is sudden. This is
My
very sudden.
message is
Yes.
my message is very simple. Don't lose heart. Always have the future, bright future is there. It is only a passing phase. If you start thinking on these lines, I know how difficult it is. I know it's not very easy as I talk here. Every morning I see people standing in, as you said, it's just 8 o'clock, 8:30. It was scorching sun, and we don't have any shade to make the 1,000 people to stand because we have to maintain the social distance. And when I see them, when I see their face, I say, look, I take the megaphone and I'll make them comfort. Don't worry. This is going to pass. This is not a permanent. This type of thoughts you should inject in their mind. I know it is very difficult, but it is possible. I have seen in my own life. Don't worry. There is no place to sleep, no place to sit, and no other way to lead their life without begging or without standing in the queue. But always I tell them, have the positive thought, have the positive waves. So I think this will work, dear. And you find some people are very devotional, very dedicated. To them also you can say, don't worry. God is there to protect you. He will guide. No, Swami, you only tell. See our condition. I said, don't always see your own condition. There are more worst people than you. There are other people who doesn't have even that. So you compare yourself and you will feel really happy. I stopped complaining for a new shoes when I saw a man lame. This must be our approach. So I think Shivkumar, you also know you stayed with the Swamis. You stayed in the monastery. You know how the things, but we should have the faith, and we should not allow the negative waves to enter into our mind. Thank you, Shivkumar. I think
Yeah. So thank you, Swamiji. So just one last question. I know it's getting very late for you in India. So this one last question is coming from Arun Patil. He is joining us from Atlanta. So
Atlanta. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. So Arun, I'm going to unmute you so you can go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Sanjay. Swamiji, namaste. Thank you for all.
Namaste, Arun.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, Swamiji. Thanks for all the kind words and the path you are showing it to us. I just have one question since we are listening about faith and all. Since we all have gone through so much of tough time, lockdown or homestay, without job, away from the family. Most of the social media also mention about if there was a god or like temple, church or masjids, nothing would come into helping the people here. Is this kind of media, I mean social media talks going on, and are we
Yeah.
going to, are people going to lose faith
No.
from the God because of
No.
because of
No.
this corona situation?
No. You see, let me clear the points as you said. You see, what is this media? In fact, the corona, the fear phobia was created from the media. I'm very clear in my points. You see, yes, there may be problems, but why you want to highlight the problems? Why don't you give the positiveness? I know, I tell to our media here also, always you say so many people are affected, so many people are affected. But why don't you give the report of how many people are coming out from the hospital, discharged, they are getting discharged. When you see the people coming out from this corona disease and normally they are walking out of the hospital, that gives so much boost for the people.
Yeah.
So that is one point. The second point, yeah, if that is only your belief. If you believe in God, you should have a firm mind. You should not be oscillating. So once Swami Vivekananda take up one idea, think on that idea, dream on that idea, work on that idea, live on that idea alone. So I have accepted. Come what may, I will not change my path. You see, God is not the thing to show you like in the shopping mall, like a dollar, etc. God is a power, supreme power, not only outside, it is also within yourselves. So I will just end this answer with giving an example. DV Gundappa, a famous person, a philosopher. I call him as a Tattvajnani philosopher. So one Japanese young man entered his house, wanted to discuss with the God and his existence and his power, etc., etc. So I think DVG took more than an hour to explain him the way God is there and the way you have to accept his nature and his power, etc., etc. Then finally, that Japanese, that young man appeared as not convinced much. Doesn't matter. In India, finally, we offer a cup of coffee or tea to them. So DVG offered him a fine homemade coffee, tasty coffee. Okay. So this Japanese young man, the filter coffee, Indian filter coffee is keeping the whole night and morning, that wonderful, I call it as amruta, that coffee he enjoyed. Then he said to DVG, wonderful coffee, fantastic taste, wonderful. Then DVG said, show me that wonderful. Show me that goodness, good taste. It has to be experienced. It cannot be explained. So Narada or Bhagavan Sri Krishna or Upanishads, all just explanation. But if I go on talking till morning about Rasgulla of Kolkata, you may only hear. But instead of that, if I just give you one Rasgulla, then if I ask you, how is it? You say, yes, it's wonderful. So both reaches the same goal. But where here, you will understand immediately, very immediately, because you see, you enjoy. Same way, the seekers of God has given us the path to reach Him. So if you agree, come what may, I will not leave my path. I will just walk like a rhinoceros. Nobody can change my thoughts. Nobody can change my views. If you have that firmness, then I don't think anybody